What's up, everyone? My name is Reese. I'm a guitarist based out of Michigan, and today I thought I'd try something a little different and give you guys a gear review type of thing of my new guitar that I just got about a month and a half ago, which I think is sufficient enough time to give you guys my opinions, likes, dislikes, give you some of the specs, show you some tones, and maybe give you a recommendation if you're on the fence. So I guess I should start off by saying I'm not sponsored by Strandberg in any way. They didn't send me this guitar. They didn't give me money to review it or say nice things about it. I'm going to be completely honest. In the future, if I do end up working with brands, if I do any more of these gear review type videos, if I work with any brands, I'll make sure to give you the lowdown beforehand so that you know that I've been paid or am benefiting from trying to sell you a product. So I guess with that out of the way, we can get into the boring stuff and talk a little bit about the specs. So this is a basswood body in transformative teal. It's the name of the paint color. It's a really cool color. It's kind of like greenish blue. On the website pictures, it looks way more blue, but in person it is extremely green, which I am a fan of. I think I prefer that, honestly. And it has these kind of, I don't know, sparkly, I don't know what you like, glitter almost, really fine glitter. So it has kind of a metallic thing going on. It's a very cool finish. Aside from that, we have a 5-piece roasted maple neck and fingerboard with stainless steel frets. Obviously, we have the Endure neck, which is a staple of Strandberg. I don't think you can get a Strandberg without a Endure neck, so that's cool. We have a 26.5-inch scale length on the treble side and a 28-inch scale length on the top side, so we have a multi-scale fan fret thing going on. A little bit new to this model, the N2, is that we have a curved top. I don't know if you can see it very well, but I'll have some B-roll or something for you to look at. We have a curved top instead of the original arm contours and stuff. I'll talk a little bit about my opinion on that later. We also have Seymour Duncan, Pegasus, and Sentient 8 pickups in this guitar, which is cool. They look sweet. Also on this guitar, we have the new EGS Arc 8 hardware, which I believe is featured on the Essential line, the Boden Essential line, which is cool. I'm actually a huge fan of this bridge and the hardware. Very easy to use. As far as controls, we have a 5-way switch, volume and tone, and I believe that's about it. I'm sure I'm probably missing some stuff, but that's good enough. So I guess with that being said, I can get into why I chose a Strandberg, why I like these guitars, how I discovered them. Back when I was in high school, many years ago, probably over 10 years at this point, I discovered this guy by the name of Chris Letchford on Candy Rat Records YouTube channel, which is primarily acoustic instrumental channel. And I saw him playing one of these, not this specific guitar, but just a Strandberg, and I fell in love. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Probably, I think, my first time ever seeing a guitar without a headstock, so I thought that was super strange and cool. Ever since then, I've wanted one. It's kind of been my lifelong goal to have one. So yeah, I mean, I've wanted one of these for over 10 years at this point, so it's like an absolute dream come true to be holding one in my hands right now. So Strandberg as a brand is very focused on ergonomics and, you know, pushing the concept of the guitar forward with features like this cutaway for your leg, the fact that it has no head, the Endure neck, multi-scale designs. All these things are very cool. So yeah, as far as some of the things that I like about this guitar, I really like this bridge, despite the fact that it's not a tremolo, which makes me kind of sad. I feel like I've gotten so used to having one of those that it's kind of sad to not have an 8-string option for that. I understand why they can't because of the multi-scale, but yeah, the hardware is really easy to use. It took me maybe I don't know, 20, 30 minutes to figure everything out without looking at the manual, which is kind of dumb. But yeah, I really like the hardware. I really like the Endure neck. I like these 3 planes. It's, you know, I was kind of scared, was worried that I might not like it as much, but turns out it's completely fine. My hands are completely used to it now. Another thing that scared me with this being an 8-string is just the sheer, dare I say, girth of the neck. But that's not really been much of an issue either. I don't notice my hand getting any more or less fatigued than it does on my 6-string. So the neck profile is very thick as well, which adds to the girthy feeling of the neck. That kind of scared me, but turns out it's completely fine. You know, can do bar chords and stuff, completely normal. No issue. I really like the fact that it's multi-scale. There's another feature on this that kind of scared me because I've tried some pretty aggressive fan fret guitars and not had a good time, but this is subtle enough to where I don't notice it. In fact, if I do notice it, I notice it helping more than it hurts, so that's cool. Another thing that I really like about the neck is the titanium rods that are running through it. I know a lot of people have complained, said it's just kind of a gimmick, but for some reason, when I play this guitar, I can feel the notes that I'm playing in my thumb, like in the back of the neck, which is a very strange sensation. It's a sensation that I have never felt on a guitar before. Just playing anything, I can feel it vibrating up and down the neck, which is a really cool, feeling for me. Obviously, I like the way it looks. I think I've given you sufficient evidence to call me a Strandberg fanboy at this point. But I also really like the way that this feels. I can sit like this, which is normally how I sit with it, but sometimes if I want to, lean back and be lazy and practice the guitar, put my feet up, like this is a perfect desk guitar. If this were a regular guitar, the entire bottom would be in the way, it would be hitting my armrest. I just really like the way that this guitar feels. And now to the parts that I didn't like, which I'm sorry to say this isn't a perfect guitar as much as I do love it. It has some issues, and I think they are representative of Strandberg as a whole. From what I've heard, a lot of people are having QC issues, not with this specific model, but just in general with a lot of their newer models. So when I got this really bad fret sprout, like probably the worst fret sprout that I've felt in a while since maybe like playing a Squire or something like that. I don't even know if it's sprout because it doesn't really look like sprout, but I can feel the skin getting caught underneath the fret, and they're really sharp, specifically on the treble side, which is, the side that I'm playing on, so not a huge fan of that. Another issue is this guitar specifically has a couple of high frets, somewhere around here and here. I forget exactly where because I've adjusted it in such a way that it's not an issue, but the fact that I have to adjust the guitar around those issues, it's not a total deal breaker, but it is a very disappointing thing when you pay over $2,000 for a guitar and it's not premium. But I guess another thing that I don't love is this jack plug thing. Not a huge deal, but it does come loose quite often, and that's just this type of design, it's like a nut that screws onto it, and they come loose all the time. I have the same problem on my Ibanez. And another reason I don't like these is because if they continue to loosen over time, as you tighten them, you could potentially be twisting the actual jack inside, which can eventually rip out the soldering, which has actually happened to me on my Ibanez. So don't love that, not cool. And then I guess I hinted at this before, I would talk about it later, but not a huge fan of this arch top kind of thing. I would have preferred just a regular arm bevel. I find that when I'm playing it, I lean my arm on it in a specific way to where it's like cutting off the circulation to my hand. Not a huge fan of that. Can easily be fixed if I adjust my posture, but you know, just not sure why they did away with the arm bevel. I thought it looked cooler too with the arm bevel, so it's just a minor gripe. I guess the last thing that I'll complain about is the general thickness of the neck. Like I said, it's not a huge issue, but if it was a little bit thinner, I feel like it would be nicer for my teeny little hands. I'm not a very big guy, so don't love that. But all in all, I would say I really do enjoy playing this guitar. I really like it. I think it looks cool, and maybe that's shallow to say, but I think looks are very important. If you have a guitar that you don't want to pick up because it's the ugliest thing you've ever seen, which this might be to you, you might not love this, but my point is, like, if you don't like the look of the guitar, you're going to be less inspired to pick it up and play it. So just having something that I like the look of, in fact, I can't stop looking at it. I haven't looked at the camera much at all because I'm busy staring at my guitar, is a plus. I like looking at this thing. It's cool. It inspires me. I want to pick it up. I imagine I stay awake late. I stay up at night dreaming of the kind of music that I can make with this guitar, or the kind of sounds that this thing can make. So that's part of the reason I wanted it so bad. So I guess to wrap it up, I'll give you a little bit of, my opinion on whether or not you should buy this guitar. So I think in general, I would recommend Strandberg for the design language, the ergonomics, all the cool features that you get on them. The lightweightness is really cool. But if you're maybe someone who's on the fence about this particular guitar, the Boden N2 standard, I would maybe save your money and go up in price, because I'm not seeing too many people complain about the QC issues on the original line. Or, I mean, just shop elsewhere. There's plenty of 8-string options. There's plenty of ergonomic guitar options out there. But all in all the flaws and everything, I still love this thing. It's not a bad guitar. It's not the best guitar. It gets the job done, and I love it. So I think I would recommend it for that reason. So if you like the way it looks, then yeah, I'm confident that you'll get your money's worth out of this. So yeah, with all that being said, stay tuned for more from me in the future. I might do a video on 8 strings in general, whether or not you should get one. Talk a little bit about tuning and stuff. But yeah, stay tuned for that. If you have something to say, or you have any questions about this thing, or you want me to go a little deeper in depth for you, just leave a comment. Ask me anything you want. Yeah, that about does it for the review. If you like what you saw, I guess leave a comment, like, and subscribe. I've been Reese, and stay tuned for more videos in the future. Peace.